Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. It's Jordan here. Today we're going to continue working on the Lego City Island. Not too long ago I ripped apart a bunch of my work and I put some notches in the elevated platforms and transferred it from one island into two islands. And when I did that, well, I undid a bunch of my work and there's no longer a coastline other than right there. There's a little bit of those rock panels that look pretty good, but beyond that, it's looking pretty rugged. There's not a whole lot going on here. There's like the exposed corners and the connection point between the two islands is exposed. It's all different colors of base plate. It's not looking too good. So today in this video, I want to try and tidy this area up by completing, that's right, completing the base construction for the coastline. And believe me when I tell you this, that's going to take a lot of parts and just a lot of bricklaying. But I'm pretty excited about just making this coastline look better and more complete because that is just one necessary element of this island. Let's get started. So now we have the outline for the coastline. And by outline, I just mean like a really rough draft. So you can see we've got a combination of the rock panels here, and then this area will be brick built, so there'll be some low ground, and then some more rock panels along here, and another low ground spot, which will all be brick built. Some more rock panels, and we've got like the cutout there, so like a nice swerving effect going in toward the land. And we can always build out bricks and plates using a Mills plate technique in front of the rock panels if we want to have some beaches and stuff below the rock panels, and then sort of build up from there. But this is just like the rough draft outline, and you can see that some of it is clipped together. So we're gonna work on these individual pieces upstairs and then come down here and install them. For example, this is one large piece. So that'll be a fun one to work on and install it because that's gonna sort of create the separation between the two islands. And then we can install the bridge afterward as well. But yeah, we got some more low ground here and then the rock panels right here. All this construction, we may as well just keep it intact because we don't have to redo that. But it was nice because when I redid it all, you can see I actually filled in a lot of the tops of the rock panels because when I deconstructed a lot of it, well, a lot of that work could be saved because all the parts were there. So when I deconstructed it, all the parts were already there. So I already took care of filling in some of the gaps there. So it's good. Yeah, I feel like this is a good base outline for our island, and I'm really excited about working on each piece individually and sort of see it come together slowly over time. So I think one of the best places to start this construction project is right here where we have this corner that transitions into the sort of parallel rocks running between the two islands. So of course, here we have it before and after. Yeah, there we go. It's still looking pretty rugged. Keep in mind, we're working on this day by day here. We're trying to make it look better. Of course, we can always improve things by adding slopes and rounding out those rock panels a little bit more. And I do have some plans for this area in particular, which will help transform it. But there you go. I think it's a great start for this area between the two islands. May as well continue working down the line there. So now we've got to bend around the next corner on like the primary island and work toward the center of that. So here it is before and after. That's quite the transformation. Pretty fun to see. Yeah, so using a combination of those rock panels and also the bricks creating some different heights within there, I think it's looking pretty fresh. Popping around the next corner here, you can see there's a bunch of those rock panels that were slightly filled in, but not quite, and there's quite a bit of exposed base plate over there. So the first panel that we took care of was the 5 base plates on the side of the island, so that's all filled in now. You can no longer see those gaps. May as well continue around the corner here where we have a yellow base plate. What? Yellow base plate? When did they make those? But we've got some bricks laid there for the outline, and that's about it. So there we go, filled it in all nicely there. Looking pretty sweet, making our way up to the causeway. Now we have this long stretch here, which is going to be 100% brick built. It is going to take a lot of bricks because that is spanning 3 base plates, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end. What do you think? Pretty good. Once again, we can still brick build this a little bit more coming down. We can create flat spots when we get to that water detail phase, because we can add beaches and stuff in the water detail phase. I just think that that would come later after the rock work. But you can see what it takes to brick build this here. So each piece, of course, is laid individually. We've got the colorful bricks, in this case 2x3s, acting as the supports behind the 2x4 and 2x6 dark bluish gray bricks. And I've just got to lay each one individually, reinforcing it all and making sure it's sturdy. And this is just the base construction, doesn't even include details. Thousands of bricks later, that's what this coastline is going to take, but I think it's worth it. Okay, we've got the next big section here. This one sort of has a unique curve to it, and it's all brick built. So there we go, filling in that corner pretty nicely there. Yeah. Moving on to the next corner where we've got that 16x16 island base plate hidden in there, a little Easter egg. Got to fill that in as well. Boom. Yeah. Nice. Looking pretty cool with the brickwork. I like that. And one of the final sections is right over here, approaching the causeway. Got some of those corner rock panels in there. Just got to fill in the void space just like that there. Connect it all together. And there we go. The base construction rock work for the entire island is now complete. Feels pretty good. It was pretty neat seeing the island transform. Like the coastline has more of a rugged shape now. I will say that we did make a couple mistakes with the rugged coastline, but those can always be changed or added to. For example, right over here, I think this is a bit squarish and maybe we should have had this bulge out more. And I'm thinking we can put like a little beach right here. And also right here, I think these are too parallel with one another. So we could probably add a little bit of a bulge coming out on one of them, just to give it a more interesting shape. But once you put the bridge over there, it probably won't require it, but I still think that we should probably modify just like this one section there and also modify this. And one thing that's really going to transform this entire island is the water. So once we go through and we detail all the water using probably blue, dark blue, and black, blue being up against the rocks, transitioning to black, I think it'll look really cool. And we're also going to only use the trans light blue. I don't think we're going to use the trans dark blue tiles. So it's going to just pull it all together and make it look less colorful at this particular point. Another thing that we really need to get done is just mills plating it. And you can see some areas where it's mills plated, it looks a lot cleaner because these are at the right height and it's also just like one consistent color or two consistent colors in this case. It is double point, so we did order a ton of green 16x16 plates because we don't have any more right now so that we can mills plate this entire thing. And once it's mills plated, it'll truly look a lot different. Then we can start plotting out our roads and sort of go from there. But it's just a matter of getting the pieces because projects like this, they just take a ridiculous amount of pieces because this is just the base layer for the rock work. We still need to go through with the slopes and add all the texture, fill in some of the random gaps and stuff that we didn't see while we were constructing it upstairs. And after you place it, it sort of becomes exposed. But once we come in here with the slopes and we come in here with the bricks, you can run bricks along here, along here, along here, and we can sort of bolster up some of these rock panels so they're not so up and down, and then we can slope them up just to make them look a little bit less uniform and just add more details like all the vegetation and adding different colors and everything all around the coastline. And then of course our roads, our buildings, all that jazz. But it's just like one step at a time. Getting this coastline here took 3 days, or getting this coastline done took 3 days. So it was definitely a lot of labor that went into it. But hey, I think the end result, although it's a little hard to visualize right now because of the multicolors and ruggedness of it, I think it looks pretty fantastic.